welcome to our first of a series of
Yeah, why don't you do that?
chef series. And I want to thank Tim Hollick and Joe Zinni and staff over there from Wood Palace Kitchens for allowing us to have this. This is great, Tim. It's going to be wonderful during these cold, dreary winter months. And I want to thank Billy, too, at Mucky's Liquors. They, once again, have come through to help us enjoy this even more. So, Tim, take it away.
I'm on?
You're on.
Oh! Hello, everyone. Welcome, I guess, to our first cooking Zoom meeting here at Wood Palace Kitchens. This is our working kitchen that's behind us here. And tortellinis is something I like to make. It's a lot of work. You're going to see tonight. We've kind of done some things ahead to show you things that way there. You know, after you make the dough, it really should sit for about an hour in room temperature as it melts together. And we're going to show you different segments of it. But tortellinis were basically the definition is small pies, and the legend says that Venus, the innkeeper where she was staying, he was peeking through the peephole and saw her navel. So that's the legend. That's why it's called belly buttons too, because my Aunt Catherine was the belly button tortellini queen. And I got to tell you a funny story before I begin here. At my aunt's husband's wake, I get to her after the coffin, and I told her that I make tortellinis. Well, she screams at the top of her lungs across the room to her son, "Richard, Timmy makes belly buttons." And I'm like, oh my God. But she was the queen, and I learned how to make them in gourmet cooking classes at BP. But I do use a recipe out of one of my Italian books, and it's gone very well. But you always have to start with the dough. Now, some people want to buy this stuff. I like to make my pie crust. I like to make my pasta from scratch. And I've actually showed my grandsons. My daughter learned originally how to make, pasta from scratch and things like that. But it's really simple. It's just like anything else. It just takes time. Tortellinis are a lot of work because they're so small. To make like 150 of them, you're going to be there a couple hours making them together. But we'll be showing all that. But basically, I'm not sure. Can you see? Can you see the trough I have here with the flour? Okay. So I guess Joe's gonna spin it.
How's that?
Can you see it now?
Yeah.
So basically, it's 2.5 cups of basic all-purpose white flour, and you make yourself a trough. And you take 3 eggs, and I use large, and you're going to take a tablespoon of oil, and I just bought regular vegetable oil. Let's see here, 1 table.
Could you use like olive oil though, if you're
No, you shouldn't be
vegetable
using
oil like I am?
You really shouldn't be using that type of stuff that you're going to get a taste, and you don't want your pasta to have a taste like that. At least that's what I was told. But I'm not a professional chef. I wing it sometimes. So, and then you take 1 teaspoon of salt. And right now I just put them in, since I got it prepared, I just put it in there. And then I'm just going to pour it into the trough.
That's a bold move, right down there on the cutting board
Flat.
surface.
Yeah.
I would be so afraid that I'm gonna spill the eggs.
So the key is you got to keep your trough up, so if you look at some weak areas, kind of move it around, just so you got it. So you just start with your hand, and you start to, I always remember my aunt when she used to make homemade spaghetti all the time over our house, and I remember her doing this with her fingers, and basically you're mixing all this stuff together and crushing the yolks to begin with, and then just start getting some flour in there, just so you can start mixing it together. At some point, it will not run out. You don't have to worry about it running out, because you got to get it there first. Don't worry if it does. That's why I have a scraper like this. you know, to scoop it back. And there's sometimes I'm rushing and it does spill over. But, you know, just keep bringing the flour in with your thumb.
So this would be a base for like any pasta, not just the tortellini. Like you could make
Any-
kind of
any
pasta with
pasta.
this recipe.
Yeah. You know, this is your basis ingredients. Now, of course, you can make this in an automatic maker. I actually have a automatic one, but the reason why I don't use it, because when you run everything through it and the stuff hardens, it's like concrete. So cleaning it's always a bugger. So you'll see I do this by hand. You see I'll have a hand pasta machine to, you know, roll it out by itself. And see it's starting to, you know, coagulate here a little bit. So now I can start kind of moving everything in. And it's messy. I mean, your fingers are going to get clogged up.
So you do this with the grandkids? Like, do they like doing it, or are they
They
grossed
love
out
doing
by
it. The kids, I'm telling you, teach kids stuff like this. They actually made, you know, they all had, both of them had their own, and they did it. And, you know, making the tortellinis wasn't really a big thing to them, but running it through the pasta machine and making spaghetti was the big highlight for them.
That's fun.
They couldn't believe they made spaghetti. But this is basically, you know, when you're making pasta dough, it calls for 3 eggs at this amount of flour. If you're making a dough for like pierogies or anything like that, there's less eggs. You don't want to have a lot of eggs for that. It's a different type of dough. And then you just start bringing it together. You need it at this point just to get up all your flour. And if it starts to dry out, you can use water. And usually I have to add a little bit. I can already feel it already that it's gonna need a little bit of water.
Do you want a little water?
Yeah.
Cold or room temp?
Room temp. And see how it's not really sticking together? So that's a sure sign that you need some water. Because every eggs are different size. And don't worry if you put too much water in, say it's too wet, you just bring in some more flour.
I like this. There's a little bit of room for error.
Yeah.
Like it's not as an exact science.
Yeah, this is not like bread. And I did make one earlier, so at least that one's at room temperature so we can continue. See, now it's starting to stick a little bit. And some areas are going to get wet than others, and then as you mix and knead, that's what brings it all together. I like to start to get some off my fingers here. And kind of scrape it back together.
I was gonna say that's one of my favorite tools, the pastry cutter and chopper. Does everybody have one of those at home? It's absolutely like the most all-purpose thing you could get.
It's very versatile.
It really, like, you could use it for anything.
Yeah.
It's like supposed to be just for, you know, pastry or pasta, but I've used it chopping and serving and cutting and all kinds of stuff.
Yep. I don't know if anybody's ever made pasta from scratch, but it's very rewarding when you're eating the product. It's like making pie crust. There's nothing like homemade pie crust. And maybe sometime we'll demonstrate that. See, it's starting to come together now, but I still got some dry areas. And it's weird how each time, like when I made one earlier, I didn't have to put a lot of water. So maybe there was just more to the egg on the 3 I used. But again, don't worry if it becomes so sticky in your hand. You could just put a little bit of flour on the table and that starts to dry it up. And as you can see, it's starting to form. And then you just start kneading. And basically it's just turning it over and with the butt of your hand go that way. So I can see some spots a little bit wetter than others, but as I mix, it'll probably get dry.
Well done with these ones.
Those are, yeah, all set, yeah. I'm sorry I missed the last time. I had something that came up and I had to attend to. But see how it's starting to form into a dough? And you just keep kneading it. Like I tell people, if you have the pasta, the hand pasta maker, can you just swing that over there, Joe, a little bit? That's the hand pasta maker. Really, when you start to put it through there, that helps it knead too, because you'll see I'll do it a bunch of times to a thin thickness. So that helps it also. So you want to get yours going, Amy, and then
Yep,
I'll
I'm
switch
just
over there.
starting
So just keep kneading it back and forth like that, and basically you're just forming like a ball. You gotta go down with it, Joe. Yeah, that's good. You're basically forming like a ball. Yeah, it's that one.
Yeah, I like this middle burner.
Tim, I have a question. Can you use semolina instead of
Does anybody
flour?
have any questions for the dough?
There is a
Yeah.
question. Can you use semolina rather than the dough?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
I tried it once years ago. I don't remember, but I did one time, and I just can't remember how it went. It's been a long time since I did that.
And you would
You
use
should
the
be able
same
to,
quantity?
because I know I did. I
What was
can't
the, what
remember
was the
how it
question?
turned out.
What was the question?
You would use the same quantity, 2.5 cups?
You'd use the same quantity, 2.5 cups?
Yes. Yeah, because it's easier for kneading when it's this size. I mean, you could double the recipe. It's just gonna be a little tougher when you start kneading. So what I do is I try to make because when I try to make tortellinis, I try to make like 500 or more. So I'll usually make at least 4 of these, 5 of these. And I
500?
usually,
500?
oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they're a lot of work. It could take a couple of days to make that many. It's making them, forming them, we'll show later on. But this is what the dough starts to look like. And the more you knead it, the smoother it gets. It has that nice, raw dough smell, which you can, is nice. But what we'll do is we'll go over to Amy. She's going to start doing, as I'm finishing kneading, she's going to show you, cooking the meats to get them cooked, because you got the chicken and the pork that have to be cooked. And I cubed everything somewhat up, just so it goes into the pan that way.
Okay, Amy, you're on.
Okay. Hi, guys. So I'm just heating up in this skillet. It's a non-stick skillet, and I've got like 2 tablespoons of butter, just kind of melting up in here nicely. I wish you could smell it, because the smell of melting butter is like, it's just, you're starting something good, right? And then Tim has already sort of like prepared this meat. What kind of meat do we have, Tim?
Chicken and pork.
So it's like chicken and pork. It's,
And I cubed it,
roughly
basically.
cubed, maybe like, I don't know, like 1 2-inch cubes.
Yeah, just so they cook easy in the pan.
So I'm like starting this on like a little bit like a medium high just to melt that butter, but should I turn it down to maybe like a medium?
Yeah, you don't want to have it too tough, because you're browning and cooking, basically. Just so when you send it through the grinder, it's not somewhat raw.
So like what kinds of like cuts of meat do you typically get? Is it pork tenderloin? Is it cutlet?
I bought a cutlet and I bought a chicken breast.
So a pork cutlet and a chicken breast cubed. I love that I was invited to do this. Thank you guys for having me, because I've never made tortellini. I've never made pasta. So I'm learning like right along with everybody else. So like pardon me if I do something wrong. I'm sure Tim will let me know. All right, so the butter is all melted. I'm just gonna put, like, slowly spoon the meat into here so we don't cause any damage. And it's like not even really trimmed. You want to leave a little bit of the fat. If there's any fat on
Yeah.
there, you want to leave a little bit of that on.
I did cut off some.
Okay, just gonna let that sit and start simmering a little bit. In zone 2, right?
Do you have any questions to ask them?
So what, yeah, does anybody have any questions so far with the meat? I mean, pretty self-explanatory. I guess it just, like, I actually have a question. Do you have to use a non-stick skillet, or could you use like a cast iron skillet or like a copper skillet?
Anything you want. You're just basically just trying to brown the meat and cook it, just so when it's going through the grinder, it's cooked. That's all you're really doing.
I've been on like such a cast iron skillet
You may need to
kick
look higher.
lately. Is it? Yeah, I was just on
Because these
medium
aren't that
high.
good. Yeah.
Maybe I'll put it on zone 3.
This is basically what the dough looks like after you're done. It's pretty smooth. But like you say, as it goes through the pasta machine, it'll smooth it out more and more. It actually helps knead it.
Hey, Tim,
So at that point,
You have a
this-
question? Go
I
ahead.
have a question. Yeah, do you season the meat at all? Does it just go in without any seasoning?
Do you season the meat at all?
No, because the mixture is going to be seasoned with salt and pepper and nutmeg.
That's a good question. I was just going to ask, like, the pasta's not seasoned either. Like, I'm someone who would want to put like salt and pepper and parsley and like all kinds
Me
of
too.
stuff like into that like right away.
Yeah.
But I guess that's all like coming. So we have to be patient. Anybody like me who wants to just like break out, the salt shaker
I
and
start right away with
start
my
chopping
seasoning.
herbs.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love it. Maybe I overdo it sometimes, I think. Ask my husband. He's like, there's too much spice in this food.
When I do my chili, I start putting my spices in with the hamburger and everything else while it's cooking to
Mhm.
even get it in. So this would be odd for me not to be. I'd be shaking right now. I wouldn't be able to.
Right, I know. It doesn't seem pretty plain.
So
but
that's
no,
that is a great question.
all the good
absolutely.
stuff is coming. So I wonder if it makes a difference. Like, what's everybody cooking with at home? Like, are you guys on like a induction cooktop or like a gas range, or I don't know what everybody has. This one that we have at the Wood Palace showroom is like a Wolf, just like an electric cooktop. And it does kind of like take a little while to heat up. It's not like the induction, which is like super fast to heat up. And it's not like the gas, which like you have that residual heat. So this might take a little bit longer, but I mean, everybody knows like when it looks like, you're browning, you're gonna have no more like opaqueness left in the meat.
And like I tell everybody that, is starting to cook, don't be afraid of it. Just do it. And you're going to make some mistakes at first. If you're the only one eating it, it doesn't matter. It's not going to be that it's bad. It just might not come out as perfect as you like. But it was the first time I made a pie. It was, when I made the pie crust, it was kind of a disaster the way it rolled out. So it took me a little bit of time to get that to look better. Just like when I did the grilled pizza, the first couple of times,
Yep.
it stuck to the grill.
Yep.
And, you just learn how to use temperatures, how to roll things better each time. The key with the pasta is it's got to be wet enough so it starts to form in the ball, but it can't be so wet that it's, sticking. And you saw it started doing that, but as I needed more, the dry stuff got in with it, so it all blended together. But like I said, today, I didn't put hardly any water in because I made one. What you do is you cover it with a bowl. I just used a plastic thing from Lakewave. You cover it, and it sits in there for at least an hour. Mine's been here for like 5, but the whole idea is let it sit there in room temperature. You want it to be room temperature.
So you could leave it for a lot longer than an hour though. Like, say
You
you want to
could.
make it like in the morning and like cut your pasta later
Yeah.
on.
As long as it's under the bowl, it'll stay moist.
You don't have to oil it or anything?
Nope.
Like, I know sometimes when I do pizza dough, like, and you're letting it rise, like I cover it with olive oil. But
No olive oil.
plain.
Plain. And I'm a plain pasta person. I've never attempted to put spinach in mine, but this recipe book actually shows it that way. So you'll have to pull some of those recipes.
I would put spinach in it. I totally would.
You know, one time I made I think it was in the recipe, it's a 5 cheese lasagna. Oh my God, was that good when it came out. It was a lot of work though.
Like that.
It was a lot of work. Because again, I made the pasta from scratch, the cheeses and all that stuff I had to make up. It was a lot of work. But as you can see, I don't know if you can see, can everybody see the pan? Everything's starting to, you know, brown up. And, you know, basically you just want to make sure the meat is cooked. You don't want it to be raw in any way. You really can't, well, I guess you could overcook it, but, you know, it's not a big thing because it's all going to be ground together with the prosciutto. I basically double the recipe, so I'm going to have more pieces than you were working off that one we gave you. Sometimes I quadruple it because I'm going to make a bunch of tortellinis. But, you know, prosciutto and the mortadella is going to go through the grinder with all this. And then I actually grated some fresh Parm cheese. I buy the triangle one and I grate it myself.
Oh yeah.
I'm a sucker for punishment sometimes. You can just buy it in the bag already grated. You don't have to do it yourself. But I think I'm just in the mode of always trying to do everything myself.
But isn't it like so much better though? Like the wedge of Parmesan, it's fresh and like it's just like you get a lot more, I think, for your money. It's like say like a
True.
$10 wedge, but I mean you've got that for like a couple of weeks. You can
But
get
you
cheese
can
out
buy
of it.
the pretty fresh ground, you know, Parmesan Romano. You could use Romano too. You can mix Romano and Parmesan. There's nothing like both together. I mean, when I make certain things, I usually mix the two of them together.
All right, so we're just about browned. Maybe another second on a couple of pieces. Yeah.
Because like I said, it has to be cooked. You don't want to be eating raw chicken or raw pork.
And like talk about another tool. I have to have tongs in like every shape and size. Like I think tongs is another like
Yep.
must-have kitchen tool along with that little scraper.
Now, I don't know if anybody has a grinder at home, but I'm going to show you now. We have a KitchenAid mixer. I have one at home too, and it's a grinder accessory. So you want to point it that way, Joe? While she's finishing up.
Yeah,
Like
can
out of the way, right?
Does everybody can see over here with the KitchenAid mixer?
It's a little bit dark.
Good. Hey, so basically this attachment in the front is where this type of stuff goes. You just pull out I have no fingernails, so it's a little tougher for me. So you pull that out, and then this is the attachment here. Then you put it all together. There's blades in here and things like that. And then you just basically put it in here. And then tighten it back up with screw on the side. And that's where you feed everything through and all this stuff will come right through the front. So we'll show that in a bit. We'll have to let the meat cool down a little bit because we don't want to be handling hot.
Ready?
I think so, but why don't you cut a piece just to see?
I was gonna say, why don't we move the mixer like here so they can get like a good view of it?
We could. Huh. Do you think it'll be too close then?
Nope,
All right.
I'll just move
Cool.
back.
Here, let's put these like.
Tim, I have another question.
This is the one that's
So we have
been
another
sitting.
question coming in. Go ahead.
If you don't have a meat grinder, is this when you would use the food processor?
If you don't have a meat grinder, would use a food processor.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
Anything that would,
You can use a
right, you'll
hand.
see what it looks like when it comes out.
You can use a hand one, the old style hand ones too.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
this
I
is
have a
like-
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right?
I cheaped out and bought ground chicken and ground pork because I just didn't want to be under the pressure of having to grind meat. So is that okay?
Yeah, she said she cheaped out and bought the ground chicken and ground pork already done.
Perfect.
Yeah. See, there you go.
And the less you have to do, the better, I guess. I
That's,
always say my wife does it the lazy way, and not saying that's a bad thing, but it's just that's the way she likes to do it. You know, where you don't have to do as much work. I personally like to make the things from scratch, but it is a lot of extra work. If you don't have the time, there's nothing wrong with that way. As long as it's like I said with the cheese, just buy it that way. You don't have to grind it.
I just didn't want to suffer from performance anxiety.
We'll wait for that meat to cool.
She didn't want to suffer from performance anxiety.
Yeah. That's funny. Any other questions so far, what we've done?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Everyone's good.
So Tim, would you drain it or do you?
Yeah, you should drain it,
that?
yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, we're gonna put it over the.
Yeah, drain it first and then put it over that, yeah.
Okay.
That way there, it's not wet from the butter and stuff. But a KitchenAid mixers does so much. There's so many different attachments you can buy for it. I love that, I got a nice cobalt blue one at home, and we bought this type of one for in here. We're actually redoing the working kitchen. Kitchen should be coming in soon, and this whole room's going to be redone. So it's going to be anything that's now will be done.
This could be the last demonstration.
Could be the last step. Well, maybe not, but close.
Yeah, now I feel the pressure.
Joe,
Yes.
I wanted to tell everybody that this was a collaborative cooking show along with Wood Palace Kitchens and Mucky's Liquors. Taunton Area Chamber of Commerce and the Cranberry Country Chamber of Commerce are presenting this together, which is great. We have several of their board members on, and Debbie, one of them. I don't know all of them. John Moran is another one. So welcome everybody, and we had such a great success with our women's golf tournament together that we're choosing to do some things together, which is really wonderful. Opens up the possibilities for all of us.
I think it's wonderful that we're able to get all the groups together, and obviously pretty much everyone's been here. The chamber's been here several times. I know that Tim enjoys opening up the doors to get people in. Unfortunately, because of what's going on in the world right now, this is the way we got to do it. But it just shows that we always find a way of getting things done. And the upside is you don't have to leave your house, especially if it's in lousy weather. The downside is there's nothing like coming here and actually seeing the stuff done. But thank you everyone for joining us. It's great.
I thought it was a great idea. I think, a lot of good thought towards having something like this, because I think this is what the world's turning to. Who knows how long this is going to last,
Well, I think this is going to be more of the norm than anything else now.
Right.
I think it's great that Pam and Valerie and Lisa, they approached us and talked to us about putting this together. And I know it's going to have a lot of glitches. It's tough to do with the computer, but I hope everyone's enjoying their evening. And if you have questions, just let me know. Unfortunately, because the way I set things up, I'm the only one that can hear everybody, but I'm sure that I can pass everything on.
Okay, then one more thing, Joe.
Sure.
The Taunton Area Chamber of Commerce has a new president and CEO, Chris Silva, who's with us today. So let's welcome her, and congratulations, Chris.
That's great to know. I didn't know if you guys know that the Taunton Area Chamber of Commerce has a new president, Chris Silva.
Yes.
And welcome. And we hope that we can keep working with all of you. We always seem to have a good time, a few laughs, and always good food. I'm thinking that we'll continue the series if it's possible. I know that we got a couple other things planned. It'd be good to see everybody at least be able to join us this way. Again, it's a tough way to do it. There's nothing like being able to shake somebody's hand and get to chat with them. But this is the way we're going to have to do it for now. And I want to thank everyone for joining.
So there's the meat. As you can see, it's been cooked all the way through, and that's a key, like I said. So we're going to start sending everything through the grinder, and that's really the next step. Now, I lost my handle, the wood thing, so what I don't use my finger. I use the end of it as, a wooden spoon, which is our 40th anniversary spoon. So basically, that's all you're going to be doing is just sending the meat through.
So now I have a question. Are you going to mix them all together, or you mix it in the bowl?
You mix it in the bowl. Yeah. You can do it. I've done that too, where I've actually grabbed some of the meat. The prosciutto is the one that will stick inside. The fat of the prosciutto will be inside when you clean out. It doesn't go all the way through. But, set it through the same way. Like I said, I've got more meat here because I double double the recipe.
I was gonna say, how many people have used a meat grinder like this? Like, show of hands. I have never used one.
This
It
is all
kind of
I've used it
reminds
for.
me of like, do you ever see Pink Floyd, The Wall, that video?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, a little bit spooky.
Yeah, it's not something you're gonna want to play with. It's
Yeah, just don't put your fingers in
Just
it.
wash your hands. Safety first.
Yep.
You don't want to use a makeshift spoon, but Tim seems like he's doing all right with it.
Yeah, the spoon works.
Making it work.
And sometimes I stuff it too much and I gotta really push it through.
I imagine that you could use a food processor just as easily, but like
Yeah,
maybe not with like the prosciutto. I feel like the prosciutto might get stuck in the blades of a food processor.
that would be my guess.
Because that's my like go-to appliance. I make a ton of stuff in the food processor, but I have never tried something like sort of like thin like a prosciutto. So
and the other thing you can do, if you don't have anything like this, you can make up all the stuff and, you know, got a friend that has one, go over there and grind everything together in the
Right.
bowl. You know, somebody else might have it. That's what people used to do years ago.
yeah, come to Wood Palace. You can share our
That's right, we
meat
can-
grinder.
We can use, you can
Absolutely.
use
We're
one
here,
hand.
we're here Monday through Friday, 5 days a week.
I
Sometimes
just need to
6.
know ahead because I got to bring this from home.
Yeah.
But we'll get one for in here. The new working kitchen is going to be pretty cool.
Or I feel like, you know, put it on your Christmas list. KitchenAid mixer, meat grinder attachment. You know,
Right.
It's the perfect time to start your Christmas list.
Does such a great job.
Of course, if you're just doing the recipe that we gave you with the size, you would have been done already. But you know, the sandwich meats, the prosciutto and the mortadella just give it that extra flavor. And that's really why they put that in there, because of the spices of each ham, basically. That pesky fly still here. Likes to smell the meat.
Absolutely.
So it's still coming through. It's amazing how it just keeps coming. You would think it'd be done by now. All right. So basically, there's your mixture right there. You know, you just kind of get it all together. Now it's time to add the other stuff. I end up doing a whole cup of grated because, like I said, I double.
You're all done with this one, right?
Yeah, that's all done. And just mixing that through. Is everybody able to see the bowl okay?
Maybe move it forward a little bit. So it's kind of like a dry mixture now. Like it's like really not as moist as you would think, like a ground beef. Like if you have like ground beef from the store, it's like that. There's a lot of like liquid
There
in that, but this seems like really crumbly.
Yeah, and that's why you eventually put the egg in there. That's what helps bind it together better. But when you are actually taking I take like a small teaspoon of this and put it, and I just bunch it up in my hand and I put it in the middle of the tortellini. It actually comes together good, even if you didn't put the egg. Because one time I forgot to put the egg in. About halfway through, I'm like, I never put the egg in there.
It worked out anyway.
It worked out. It tastes the same.
See, I love that. I love like you're allowed to experiment and do things differently. When
So,
something's
Amy-
too exact, I can't.
Yeah, exactly. Amy did grind some pepper. Pepper is the key to a tortellini when it's a meat tortellini. It really gives it that little bite Not a bad bite, but a little bit. And then we got some, you think we should use, I usually use sea salt. Do you think we should use the pink salt?
Oh, yeah.
There's another one
there.
up there. You can use any salt you want. I usually use sea salt. Yeah, that's fine. So, you know, mix it all together. I might even put more pepper in here. The pepper really gives it a good flavor. You don't need a lot of salt because the meats themselves, the mortadella and the prosciutto have a lot. So I just put a little bit of that. They do say put a dash of nutmeg in.
I love nutmeg. I feel like that adds a good dimension. My sister always puts nutmeg in her chili,
Yep.
which is
I've heard
such a
people
nice
doing it.
touch.
I don't, but I know people do, yeah.
Yeah, I put nutmeg in my apple pie, a lot of different things. And like I said, just make sure, I mean, that is a good amount of pepper there because I can see the black flakes were really nice. So I think that's a good amount in there. But like anything else, any good chef is going to taste it and see how it tastes. Yeah, it's got the bite. That's good. So everything's mixed together good, and now I'm going to put my eggs. Again, I've got 2 because I doubled, but you're going to beat the egg. You're 1 egg. And then put it in there. And mix it together. And usually it's just making like a binding for it.
Yeah, like you said, you can do even without the egg.
Yeah, I did it once without the egg, and it was still forming in my hand as like a little ball when I crunched them together.
So at this point, like, would this be where you want to add, like, if you're gonna make like anything else in there besides the meat and the cheese?
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna do some spinach or like, look at, I'm just trying to sneak a vegetable in. Like, can we add something?
There ain't anything healthy about the tortellini. Especially when we put butter and cheese over it after we cook it. Now, the big thing with any pasta, whether you make spaghetti, tortellinis, raviolis, you have to let it sit. So we're going to try some tonight. As soon as we make some, put them into a pot to boil. But I've never done it where I hadn't had them sit for at least 3-4 hours. So I'm not sure how it'll cook, because usually when my aunt made homemade spaghetti, they used to hang it. You remember the old wooden things that used to come out like a accordion, and they used to hang the pasta over that and dry.
They did it overnight a lot of times. They do it on
Yeah,
a set
overnight
for
sometimes.
for the Sunday meal.
Oh, I think, does Valerie have a pasta hanger right now?
Oh,
Is that
yeah.
history?
You got one right there.
Perfect.
I knew Val had something like that. So you've already made the pasta?
I did it with you.
No?
She did it with you.
Oh, right, all right. Did she roll it? Did you roll it out by hand?
No,
Yeah.
I have a pasta maker.
She has a pasta maker.
Oh, she has one too.
Yeah.
Good. Awesome. So that, you know, that's all well mixed now.
Valerie's the teacher's pet.
Valerie's the
Just
teacher's
saying.
pet, yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and unmute myself for
We give her a
that.
shot.
I'm watching Valerie and I'm like,
So
I don't have
that's
the
all
motivation
set.
right now.
So now,
I just did it all.
you know, we'll switch over back to the
Cheers.
butcher block area.
Pet,
And we'll,
teacher's pet.
start, you know, rolling out the pasta.
Cheers,
so
Chamber.
we can start making the round disc for the tortellini. Excuse me, the pepper. I need some wine.
Is that too much
Absolutely.
pepper?
No, never too much. So you can see as it's sitting there, it's starting to smooth out really nice. That's the one I just made. You want to swing over here, Joe?
Yep. How you looking?
Everybody see where I'm at here? Okay. So basically now you're just gonna slice them into some, like that. Just so you have, and then just so I could start feeding it through, I just flatten it out some. Excuse me. That way you can easily go through here. So we'll go over to the machine and you set it at the, you know, the bigger setting, which is 1. And that's all we're going to be doing now is just rolling it through. And it's help neatening as we do it. Problem is, I got a thick picture block under here, so Joe's going to have to hold this down for me, otherwise it's going to move on me.
Oh, I can hold it. Got it?
See, my butcher block at home is a lot thinner. I have the real thick one here, and the clamp doesn't go on this one. And then basically what I do is I fold it over again. And this is that little extra kneading you're doing.
We got a question?
Joe, what does he go to? Does he go to 4 or 5 on the pasta maker?
What do you go to, 4 or 5 eventually?
I think it was 2, but as I'm going, I'll remember again. I think it's 2. Can't
Okay.
go too thin because they'll rip as you're trying to do them.
Can't
Right.
go,
So I go like 2 or 3 times by folding it over on the first setting. I mean, I go to 6. I think it's either 5 or 6 I go to. Because as you go up higher, it gets thinner. So you can see a really nice, smooth. So, you know, it's been kneaded enough. So now I just start going through this to 2. Then I'll go to 3. And it's amazing how much longer it gets as you go through. As you just saw on Valerie's screen, it's a pretty long process there.
So Tim, is this your pasta maker from home?
yeah,
I haven't seen it in here before. It's so cool.
Yeah.
I've never used one.
Yeah.
How much does like one of these go for?
I don't remember this. I've had this for years, but I would say maybe $30, $40 maybe.
Yeah,
Christmas
30 or
lights.
$40.
Yeah. These are good
yeah,
items
it's
to
at
get.
$30, $40.
Is that what it was?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting one of these. This is so fun.
The
Well,
nice
the kids
thing-
love the opposite side when you set it through the different sides, the
Yeah,
linguine,
shreds
the
it.
spaghetti.
Oh, it's like the Play-Doh Fun Factory.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. You could probably use one of the kids.
We might already have this at home.
So I'm feeling the thickness. I kind of like the thickness right here, but I will go through this a couple of times, and which I ended up on 5. And see, it already got longer, even, it'll get longer again, even keeping it on the same setting. The key now is balancing what's going through and the one coming through. Because sometimes it'll stick. But I can feel it get a little bit thinner now, even, you know, in the same setting. So right now, I think we have a really good thickness. It's just I've done it so long now. But I stopped on this machine, I stopped on 5. And it goes up to 7. So it's a pretty good size here. So, you know, you could cut it so you don't have huge areas. You know, just make, you want to bring it over here now, Joe?
Yep.
I'm done with that. So basically now, I'm just putting it out and I'll start making the round. I always use like a wine glass. You can buy the circles, different size things. I like this size right here. I think that's what, about 2.5 inches or so. And then I just start making my circles.
Perfect.
Just another excuse to use a wine glass.
That's right.
Yeah, don't use the one that you're drinking out of. That could end in disaster.
Well, that could be the colored pasta.
There you go.
Yeah, maybe a happy accident. Who knows?
You know, you wouldn't think a glass would cut through, but it does.
Yeah, the sheet of pasta is really thin. Like you could see the light shining through.
Yeah. You know, if you go too thin, it's tough to wrap them when you go to make them. You know, I don't know how you can see. It's about the thickness right there.
About 16th.
About a 16th, yeah. And then basically what you have, the overage, you can run that through again. You know, I've gotten at least another 10, probably tortellinis off of the leftovers after a while. It just don't let that sit by itself. It'll dry up very quickly. Put it, you know, I don't do this, sometimes just this one, I'll get a couple together as I'm doing them, and I put them under, you know, the bowl just so they stay moist.
You want a bowl?
Okay, so now we have our tortellini
Like the little-
shells, basically. Okay, can you give me a, just a little bowl with a little warm water in it? Yep. I usually use warm water because you gotta wet the circle. You gotta wet the outside, so when you do start to form them, you know, they stick together, because they're not gonna just stick just the dough. Any questions on that part right there?
No, I just say cheers to the cook who's having a little wine.
You see, someone just said, cheers to the cook who's having a little wine.
Yeah. It's warm in here.
Very warm.
Now you can see, things like this take time. That's it. They're not hard. You have to get through the learning experience of it. Each time, the first couple of times might not come out as great, but they're still going to come out. You can't get discouraged because there's nothing like homemade stuff when you, especially when you have guests over and you serve them that type of stuff. It's unbelievable. So basically, I just, you know, I've already washed my hand. Well, let me wash them again since I did all this. Where's the?
Oh, I moved it over here.
That's it.
Got it?
That way my hands are pretty clean now. So basically I just put my finger in the water and you do the circle around it. All the way around the outside.
You leave the middle dry.
Yeah, you leave the middle dry. Don't do too many at once. And most I usually do is 4 at once. Because it'll dry quick. And then basically you take the mixture. And we have a little
You want like a special spoon?
teaspoon, small one. And I just usually use a teaspoon and I get some together. And, you know, it's been a while, so I'm trying to remember exactly how much I use, but I get that much maybe on a spoon and then I just do this. I crunch it together. And that's a good size right there. Because I got enough room to fold it and crimp it. So what I do is I fill them all, the 4 of them.
So there's no exact amount. You just kind of eyeball it.
Yeah, you kind of eyeball. You'll get it after a while. I've overfilled them before because they squeeze out. And then basically what you're doing is you're just folding it over to make a half moon basically.
Belly
And I'm pushing the meat down just so I can form it somewhat so I can get my over. And then I just crimp it down with my fingers. I'm just pushing it together. So I'm making like a ravioli. Here's your small pie. And just crimp it enough so you know you've got it crimped enough. Now, this is how you do the belly button. Is basically you take it and just do the underside like that in the corner. And then you're going to take it and push it over like that and bring the 2 points together, crimp it. And then you take this and you just fold it, you know, you kind of like, you do that. So that's what makes it look like a belly button. You're just bringing it back over somewhat. I was going to say something else. I
need
was going to
close-up.
say that. And that's your tortellini right there. What's that?
We need a close-up of the crimping or whatever it is called.
Okay, let me get a little closer then.
All right.
How's that?
A little better?
Yeah, that's good. That's like.
Hey, so now I'm going to fold it over and basically just crimp all the edges to make sure they're stuck. Do one. There's something there.
So basically, like the water is a glue.
Yeah, the water, you just do one tip, like here. And then I'm just gonna bring the other one over so it hits it, crimp them together. And then just bring, see this flap right here? I'm just taking it and doing that. And that's what makes it look like a little tortellini pie. So, you wanna try some?
Yeah, can I try
Yeah,
one?
go ahead.
So I'm just, first time ever. Okay, so this is,
All right, wet
you
it.
make it the half
So
moon.
push it so that it doesn't come out, like form it as you're going over.
So you kind of condense it in the middle,
Yeah.
right? And then you half moon.
Half moon it
Do you keep it on the table or you pick
on
it
the
up?
table,
Okay,
and now push down,
so push down all
knead it all
around.
down so all of it's stuck together. Like that will come open right there if you don't
Okay.
shake that better.
You gotta like squeeze it really tight, I guess?
Yeah,
To get.
you get a little meat out
everything
sometimes,
all-
it happens.
Did too much. Okay.
Happens to me too.
And
And
then
then do,
water just on one side.
yep, now bring them together. Connect them,
So make like
Yeah.
that shape.
and I'll pinch it,
It's like its little hands are coming together,
Yeah.
right?
pinch that good.
Pinch this.
And now flip that flap, you put the flap the other way.
Without water.
Well,
You don't need it.
yeah, you're just pulling it over. See how that's stuck,
Oh, it
completely stuck?
opens.
That's fine. It takes a while to get used to how much to crump them.
How many do you think you have to do before you get it right?
It'll take a while. Yeah, but after 10 or 20, you'll be fine.
But yeah, I mean,
That's it.
not bad, right?
That's it.
First tortellini, it's okay. Let me try another one. Can I try
Yeah,
another one?
you sure can. You can do as many as you want. I've done them before, so I know.
I feel like, do they have contests for this in like,
Like on Chopped?
in Italy? Like, are people just like, doing them super fast? You can do how many?
My daughter Gina did them in, I think it was 4th grade. They had the ethnic food. Everybody made something, and I think she won. I mean, the teachers couldn't believe how good they were, and she made them all. I just showed
No
her, and she
way.
made them.
That's awesome. Way to go, Gina.
So yeah, so now I could see you crimp that better this time.
Yeah. Live and learn, right?
So do this side.
Okay.
That side,
This
yeah,
side?
because you can see how you had it on the bottom.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
I think
you wanna,
it'll fold better that way.
yeah, you want to like put the water on your like bottom side so
Yeah.
that it's flatter and they can
Yeah.
meet.
And crimp.
They can meet in the middle a little bit easier.
And like I say, when you push that flap over, that's what makes it look like the belly button.
Now it looks like a little pitcher. It's like a little like pouring
She's
pitcher.
had too much wine.
Well, no.
Yeah, either one.
Either
I guess
one.
I laugh immediately. So
Yeah,
it's a
that's
little
good.
one.
yeah. Do some,
Okay.
oh yeah,
So
do a couple at a time.
do 4 at a time.
Oh yeah, do 4, yeah.
Wow.
You just gotta do them fast enough so
I
they
should
don't
probably
dry,
just
because they
do
won't
one at a
stick
time.
if you don't, if they dry too fast, they don't stick well. They will come apart in the pan when you boil them.
Okay. Oh, I think, is that water boiling?
Yeah.
All right, so this is like a tiny teaspoon.
Yep.
Oh, I made it messy.
That's
I'm
good.
gonna make like a little mountain.
Yeah, kind of crimp it on there. Get them so it kind of formed already for you.
All right,
That's
and
all.
the spoon, crimp it on there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not gonna be always completely stuck together, but at least it's getting there, you know?
It's surprisingly like not that much that's going into the tortellini. But I
Yeah,
guess
this will make a lot. That'll make a lot of tortellini. That'll be a couple hundred at least.
Imagine that.
So
It
what's
is
like
a lot of work.
What's a serving size of tortellini? Like, is that like
Hey, Joe,
30?
Yeah, oh God, no.
it's
Probably
Valerie.
like 10.
I wanted Tim to see my glass because the Patriots are not doing so well. I've stopped using it for a wine glass. But
She wanted you to see her glass. Because the Patriots had.
All right.
I might as well use it for something.
At least they won last night. There's a transition here. I'm not going to give them any. Everybody's giving them so much crap, and it's like, give me a break. We lost the greatest quarterback in the world. 10 of our players decided not to play because of COVID, and our offensive line is decimated. I mean, Joe
Yeah.
Tooney was playing center a couple of weeks ago. You got to give them time. They got to put the team together. They brought Cam Newton in for the year just to have a veteran quarterback, and you could see he's not as good as he used to be. But I like Kim. He's worked hard, and I think he's changed his ways a lot being on the Patriots. He had them.
It's a different
Yeah.
system. Different
Yeah.
system that he's used to too.
I completely agree with Tim.
Too.
Just gonna say that, and then I'm gonna leave it at that.
Okay.
Just make sure you push them down well, just so they're crimped well. Because otherwise they'll come apart when you boil them very quickly. There you go.
While,
The other bottom seems to be flat.
while they're making,
Yeah,
well,
they can-
while we're making our tortellinis,
No,
Billy,
you're bringing that through. You're just bringing that through a little bit. Just
And-
exactly. That's it.
Okay.
so
That's it.
Billy from Muckies,
Yep.
was.
That's all you gotta do.
Supplied our,
Yep.
our wine.
Eventually, you won't crimp it
So
that
if
far
you're
back.
drinking
You'll
and
just
enjoying
crimp the
our
tip.
wine,
Okay.
I've done it like that too.
And
At
tell
first,
us
you just
about Mir. So I'm gonna put Tim on mute just a second so Billy can tell us about the wine that we are enjoying, except for Chris, who's having a margarita.
You caught me at my computer.
Ah, yeah, I've been watching.
Yeah, I sat down. I'm like, oh. So how's it going so far?
Good. I'm hungry and I have no food.
It looks good. It does look good. Not a lot to tell about Mirasu. I mean, it's owned by Gallo, which doesn't mean a bad thing. They're a sixth-generation winery until they sold in 2003. They still have family out there on the market, pretty much doing sales for the winery. I've been dealing with Mirasu probably since Gallo took it over because it's a good value wine. I think. Tell me what you guys think, or what do you think of the wine? Yeah, I mean it's not going to wow you, but it's good. I think the Pinot Noir is one of the best values we have here. It blows away some like Mark West, Mondavis. I think it's better than some of those. I haven't tried in 2 years, so I'm not going to lie to you there. But we do sell quite a bit of it. I don't know. There's not, like I said, there's not a ton to say about this. This was more of a, pairing the food and the wine. I'm hoping Tim's enjoying the food and the wine together. I hate that I couldn't be on here longer. We had somebody call in sick at about noontime today. So unfortunately, that's where I have to raise my hand and go, I'm doing that. A 2-hour shift at the end of the night too.
We appreciate that, Billy. We appreciate you joining us and we appreciate you providing the wine. And, I mean, even bad wine is okay wine, but no, this is good wine. It's good. I'm enjoying it. And I'm enjoying the show. And
You're not making
Pam, I have a question. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. First of all, the wine is delicious. I'm not normally a Pinot Noir fan. That's not normally like one of the wines that I flock to, if you will. But it's very good. If I can ask, what does that bottle of wine normally go for, the Pinot Noir?
We always sell it for $8.99, 2 for $16.
Okay, so I mean, that's right in my range. I'm not a wine snob by any means. I drink it because it tastes good, so to speak, and it, is smooth.
Are that good value? They have a Cab, they have a Merlot, they have a Chard, Pinot Grigio. It does fit that category, and I would rather drink that wine all the time because you can't drink $25, $30 bottles.
Nope, can't afford it.
Yeah, 2 or 3 a night. It's tough.
What are you implying, Valerie? Knock it off.
I'm just saying,
My birthday, I can do whatever I want tonight.
yes, you can.
I have one gripe. It seems to evaporate awfully quickly.
That seems like a problem.
All right, here we go. You realize that it's the Cheers Chamber. What can we say? Thank you, Billy. We appreciate it. All right, I'm going to put you on mute.
Watching. I have work to do at my computer though.
Okay. Thanks, Billy.
But sometimes you gotta do.
Okay, we're back.
All right, you're back, Joe.
We're back. Yep.
Okay, so Amy wants to make more of them, so I'm gonna make the other half here with the circles.
So right now we have what, like 12? That's like one serving.
Wait a minute.
Can they see me?
Can everyone see him?
Yep.
Yep. 12 is one serving. In what house?
Isn't that like a little bowl? Well, how many would, and what is a serving?
About 30 for me, but
30, okay. 30 is a serving for Joe.
that's why I'm 15 pounds over what I should
Yeah.
be.
That's a lot.
Well, I'm a pasta guy. What are you going to tell you?
I feel like now that I know like how much work is going into it, I'm gonna savor the tortellini, like take a little bit longer.
Oh,
maybe.
yeah. When I usually freeze a lot of them. It's nice taking them out every once in a while. Either making an appetizer, which this recipe you could do that. All you got to do is just after you cook them, you melt some butter,
Ooh.
put them in the butter, grate some cheese on top, and they're great appetizer. But I like to make tortellini soup. So I make chicken broth, and then I make the tortellini soup. And I put a lot of cheese on it.
So you can freeze the pasta just like this?
No.
No.
Yeah, these.
Yeah.
These. Yeah. Once the tortellini are done, you can put them in a bag. I usually put them in a bag of like 20 or 30 in a bag. And I freeze them that size. Just matters who's going to eat them. I'll take a couple bags out if, it's the three of us home.
And so how long would it keep in the freezer? Forever?
I've had them in there over a year.
And you don't have to boil them, right? They would be
No, they're like this right now. You freeze them like this.
okay.
But basically, what you want to do after you make these, like I said, is I usually get a sheet pan and I put towels, and then I put a little bit of, I take a sifter and I sift some flour onto the towels and I put them on and I let them dry overnight usually. And they'll be, in the morning, the bottoms will be still somewhat soft. So I'll turn them over for a few hours till they get a little bit hard. And I can put them in a bag at that point to put in the fridge, or I can put them in a bag to put in the freezer. Either way,
That's four. That's
whatever you want. Yeah, I'll help you make some too. But if you wet too many of them at once, you'll never get to them fast enough and they won't stick. I've learned that the hard way. The most I usually do at once is 5, but that's after I got a rhythm going.
Gotta get in the zone.
Well, you're making them faster, I could say.
I'm trying to do like the assembly line, so I crimp them all at once
Yeah.
and then fold them all at once. But you could do like a half moon. What's that called? Agnolotti?
Yeah, it could be. Well, it'd be a ravioli, basically.
Almost.
Except it'd be a different spelling. I've never made cheese tortellinis, but I've made raviolis. That's a lot of fun, too. And you can make these tortellinis this size. You can make them bigger if you want. I mean, not that big, but they can be another inch or so in the circle. Make them any size you want.
Like if you used a red wine glass versus a white wine glass to make
Yeah.
rolls.
Yeah.
Hey,
That'll
Joe?
determine the size.
Yes.
I have a question. What if you wanted to do cheese filling? What would you use?
It's a good idea.
If you were going to use a cheese filling, what would you use?
I don't know, but they have, the recipe book there does have a cheese
Yeah.
filling.
So that-
What I can do is I can send them at the Chambers the recipe for that. So if you want to make cheese ones, you can.
Thursday, I'll write it up and send it out, Pam.
Probably like ricotta, Parmesan. Or would you want to do ricotta, or is that too wet?
I don't know. I don't know what they use, to be honest with you. I'm not really a big cheese tortellini guy. I like meat.
Yeah, I'm a cheese guy, but these are really delicious, folks. I've had them before.
I'd be more of a vegetable. So like, what would you put? Like mushroom? I would do like butternut squash, mushroom, or
And you might as well make raviolis.
red pepper.
Yeah, a lot of people do the squash and raviolis now. It's
Yeah.
a big thing.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
this
just
would
do
be-
raviolis at that point. And another time we can do the raviolis as a demonstration.
Do you ever do gnocchi?
No, I've never made gnocchi before.
Delicious.
I love
Yeah,
gnocchi.
I saw, like right before I came here, I saw an ad for a pumpkin gnocchi, which looked so good and like just so fall.
When these cook, how you know they're done, they get kind of a shiny look to them. They plump up and they have a shiny look. That's how I know they're done. But I'll still go in and pull one out, let it cool a bit and throw it in my mouth to see how it, because you don't want to tortellini that is soft. You want a little bit of like a chew to it, like al dente.
A little al dente. I was gonna
Yeah.
say.
Like any pasta. You really don't want to overcook any pasta.
Yeah, especially one that you handmade. Like, let's not,
Right,
ruin it.
Yeah.
Actually hand rolled this pasta. I'm gonna taste it.
And like I said, you can take your leftover, crunch it together, and start again on the pasta machine. Flatten it out so it starts, and then just start again at 1. Hate that this moves.
So it clamps down to this side.
Yeah, but
typically,
this is too thick. The
the side
clamps
of
aren't
like
big
a
enough.
regular counter or regular,
Yeah, regular 1.5 thick is my butcher block at home. This is like 3 inches. This is dry already. See how it's going through?
Yeah.
But now they can get it through once and then go through again. So I'll make up some more thing and then we'll run it through the spaghetti pot.
I don't think they can see it.
And the spaghetti, you can make it any thickness you want. If you want to make more linguine, you just keep it thicker.
I love linguine.
Angel hair, you go really thin. I'm gonna go back to 5 again. 'Cause that'll be a good spaghetti thickness. So basically then, you just go put your handle onto the pot of the thing that does the spaghetti. And then you have spaghetti.
Oh, that is
Ta-da.
good.
And then we just basically kind of do this to it and roll it up into a little ball. And that's how you would, let it dry. Or you could take the pieces and hang them. You could do it that way too.
I love that. That is so fun.
Hey, so what we're gonna do is go over to the pot and we're gonna make them. I've never made them right out there, but I mean they've hardened up some already, so I think we'll be good.
Here, do you want to like load them up into this?
Yeah.
Drop them in.
Then we'll drop them into the boiling pot.
What's the cooking time? Approximately.
Seconds, right? It's like
No, it's not
fast.
seconds, but maybe a minute or two. I've never really timed it, but
Typically,
whenever I see them floating up and they look shiny looking and plump, I know they're pretty much
2 to
done
3
or
minutes.
close to it.
2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah. So let me I'll look in the book to see if they give you a time.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you do it.
Hey,
I'm
come on
nervous.
over.
Too afraid.
So basically you just put it in the pot, that's it. And they're gonna float at the bottom. You kind of see they float in the bottom. But when they start to cook up, they'll start to float up. And they'll look shiny looking. They got a shine to it and they plump up nice. So let me look in the book and see if they gave us some time. They probably did. Yeah, 3 to 5 minutes. And you can, mix them around if you want to, so they're not all in one area. But it doesn't take long because they're thin. It's a very thin pasta, remember? I can already start to see some look shiny a little bit. Now you want to melt a little butter, Annie?
Yep.
And we'll grate some cheese on it.
Can I use that pan or are you using it?
I would just use a small, that
A
would be
little
small
one.
pan, yeah. Yeah, the small one, somewhere. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So Amy's gonna melt some butter, and I do have the cheese we can grate on it.
Melt function. Like, how many? 2 tablespoons? 3?
Yeah.
Like a Barbie size dose or
Yeah,
like
Barbie
a
size
normal
dose.
person amount of butter?
And see, they're starting to float up pretty good now. But they're not that shine. It's kind of, you'll eventually understand what that shine looks like and you'll know. But like anything else, you can always take one out, let it cool and taste it. Because like I said, I like it a little al dente.
Oh, they're plumping up.
Yeah, see how they plump up? They get like a shiny plump look.
Yeah, they're like little snowballs now.
Yeah. If you overcook them, they're gonna fall apart probably. All right, so we got that. Actually, we can just use this.
Yeah, I thought to scoop them out.
Yeah. Ugh. I have a little bowl left.
We should have started a timer. Right? Then you would know really how long you do it.
Now, like I say, 3 to 5 minutes. Imagine how al dente you want it. Yeah, they're shining up really nice now. That's basically the pasta cooking over.
And then you want to grate some cheese on top of this
Yeah, right here.
in the pan?
No, on the
Oh,
tortellini.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want me to try?
What's that?
Did you want me to do the
Yeah,
cheese?
you can do the thing.
He's already had one industrial accident.
I don't need another accident for today. Want to try it?
Yeah, I mean like that or
Yeah.
just like this?
I like that.
It's gonna be hot.
Yeah.
You may want to put that down.
Let me put it in the spoon. All right.
She's never tasted hot food before, I guess.
Yeah. Tim Boyd probably like boiling hot right out of the pot.
Here, Amy, hold this.
Right. All right. Ready? I think I'm ready.
I'd say they're done.
Yeah. They're really good.
So you have like a nice plump shine to it.
It's still really hot.
No kidding.
But yeah, the pasta's still al dente. And you can taste like the individual meats. It's
Meats,
not
yeah.
like it's like all one thing. Like,
Yeah,
oh, that's kind of a prosciutto moment and then like a chicken and a pork moment. It's really good.
Yeah, you can get a little peppery taste too. Yeah.
Yeah, really good flavor. And
Oh, the flavor's amazing.
for the only, we used like what, just salt, pepper, and cheese. Like we didn't put in like my usual, you know,
Right.
cup of basil or anything. It's
So
really
basically, you
good.
just pour your butter on there. And then grate some cheese. Move them around a little bit.
And she's great.
There's nothing like hot butter. There's nothing like the smell of hot butter and pasta together. Oh,
I like to
Joe,
use this
yeah, I should
Joe,
use
yeah.
like a
that.
rasp to
What's
grate
that?
the cheese.
Can you ask him if he ever uses any garlic in it?
Do you ever
Just
use any
fine.
garlic? I like garlic in my butter.
You could.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can use anything you want.
I prefer to put.
I like the
garlic in
pure taste of the tortellini, but yeah, garlic would be great with it, I'm sure.
You know what would be really good? Like an infused olive oil,
Yeah.
like those basil olive oils that you
Yeah,
have.
like the ones
Yes.
I buy.
there. Yes.
Even like instead of butter, just to do like a little bit of like an herbed oil. That's a good amount of cheese, right? Is
Like this is
that enough?
I'd put more, but that's just me.
that's you know, infused with olive oil and lemon. So I buy these place up in North Conway. I get all different
That's
flavors
good.
of balsamic and oils.
I love balsamic vinegar.
That's good. You did good.
Is that enough cheese,
I
Joe?
love cheese.
I mean, you tell me when. I can keep going.
Oh, you'd be here all day. That's good. That's plenty.
So we can all partake in some. There you go. You want to put them in a dish first,
Thank you.
or
Yeah, I mean, you know,
on a couple?
to be proper, right?
Yeah,
You know,
we're not eating out of the same bowl.
just to like a sample size, right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, I thought I was having dinner.
I'll put more cheese on Joe's.
There you go.
There you go.
Gonna fatten me up for the kill. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so there's your done tortellini with butter and Parm cheese. Again, put anything you want on it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So fun.
Looks
Cheers,
beautiful.
Cheers, everyone.
Manja.
Very good.
Where,
When they
I
cooked
have a
up,
question.
fresh,
Yes, go
fine.
right ahead. What do you got?
Where does the prosciutto come in? Because the prosciutto was on our list.
He put that in there when he put in the,
Oh, no!
no? He
time.
didn't do that?
Wow.
When he,
Whoopsie!
all right, so when he put in the ground pork and the ground chicken, he put in the
I'll do that next time.
mortadella and the prosciutto at the same time.
Okay.
Remember he was
Thank
Remember
you.
he was talking about when you put the prosciutto through the grinder, sometimes
Wow.
sticks to the blades.
That's what we get for not grinding.
Sorry
You
about
don't
that.
have to. You can do it one at a time. You're gonna mix it together anyway.
Tim,
But when you're
Tim?
finally able to cook your own, the flavor's unbelievable.
Tim, I just wanted to tell you, Joe, to tell Tim, he's going to be the next Julia Childs of Middleborough.
You're gonna be the next Julia Childs of Middleborough. You don't know how close he came when he almost shoved his finger off.
And I'd like to
I
everybody,
grated my finger.
I'd like everybody to raise a glass to Tim and say,
Raise-
what do you say in Italian?
What?
Bon appetit.
Bon appetit? No, that's French, but
That's French.
Manja?
Manya. Manya.
On.
salute,
They're all
salute,
raising a glass to you.
Salud.
Just throw it.
salute.
Thank you very much.
That was wonderful.
Raise your tortellini.
Everybody said thank you, and it was wonderful.
Amazing.
We enjoyed it. We had a good time here.
And I'm happy that you were able to cook these right away, because typically you don't do that. You usually wait.
I usually, yeah.
And they
You
came-
can-
and
It
they
doesn't matter.
And they came out fine. They came out
out
beautiful. They were
fine. They
awesome.
don't need to harden up, I guess.
I feel like I was a little bit nervous to learn this, and it was so much easier than I thought.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm putting a pasta maker and the KitchenAid stand mixer with the meat grinder on my Christmas list. And I think you guys should.
Well, see how much faster she got at making them? You just start to get used to it. Because you gotta go fast, because there's a lot of them. When you're making a bunch of them, it takes hours.
Yeah.
Hey, Tim, I have a question.
Flavor,
Yeah, go ahead.
So
unbelievable.
how long, I forget how long you said to cook them, to boil them for, the tortellini.
3 to 5 minutes.
3 to
Okay.
5 minutes.
And they're shiny and they float or whatever. Okay,
Yep.
perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Shouldn't be eating the butter, that.
All right, so that's actually a good question. So if you're not gonna do a butter and cheese, like would you do like a red sauce or the
Yeah.
Alfredo sauce? Or
You could have any type of sauce with these. And like I said, I like to make, I do a chicken broth and I make tortellini soup. And I grate cheese in the soup.
Mm. What else goes in the soup?
That's it. Just a tortellini.
Those are delicious, and the taste is amazing.
Yeah.
And like you said, you can taste everything.
Yeah.
If you wanted to put more seasoning or a vegetable or something in there
That's
to
me, I
even,
would do a vegetable.
but you, I mean,
But I
it's
would
a whole meal.
recommend if you want to do something of more substance inside, like you said, squash, make a ravioli. These are too small for that type of
Right.
stuff.
Yeah, true.
Ravioli.
So what's the difference with a ravioli? Would that be 2 of the little rounds, like sandwich?
No, you cut them. You cut it. Well, there's a bunch of ways you can do them. You can have huge rounds. You can cut them in squares and fold them over that way.
Oh, like lay it all
I
out
like
the
and
round
ones, though.
Slice it.
Yeah, half moons.
Vinny Testa used to do a butternut squash ravioli, and they were like you said, they were round. They would like those two things, sauce it over, and then they kind of crimped them with a fork,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and that's how they serve.
Has
They're a
anybody
little
ever
bit
made pasta from scratch before?
No, no.
No.
Val has. Yeah.
It's very easy, very quick.
Yeah. Just got to get used to it like anything. You know, the first time I made a pie, I was scared to death. But, you know, you do it and you figure it out. And you make it, like you said, she was kind of nervous about it. But there really isn't anything hard to it. It's just understanding how to do it. When I make the grilled pizzas, the biggest thing with the grilled pizzas is understanding your grill and the temperature. You have to be on low. If you go much above 200 degrees, the crust burns very quickly. And you don't want it to burn. You want it to crisp up, but you don't have to burn because it's right on the grill, the grates. There's nothing in between the grates and the pizza dough. And basically you just get one side done, then you flip it, and then you start doing your sauce or whatever you're gonna do. I make a Greek pizza where I do pesto, feta cheese, and black olives. You can make anything. I made it with, you know, salami on top, tomatoes on top, barbecue chicken on top. You know, it's, again, whatever you want it to be. The tortellinis can be another flavor. I'll get a cheese one and see what that recipe is, and I'll get it over to both chambers. That way you can see what that one is. Same procedure, it's just different filling. That's all.
That'd be great.
I don't like cheese ones as much. I like the meat ones. So whenever I go to a restaurant, if they got meat, I'll get it. If they don't, I don't. Nancy likes meat, cheese ones.
I like them both.
Yeah.
I'm typically more of a cheese, but this recipe is phenomenal. Even if you like a cheese,
yeah,
this is real good stuff.
Well, what gives it its flavor is the sandwich meats, the mortadella and the prosciutto.
Yep.
Yeah.
That gives it that extra flavor, that salt. That's why I said don't put a lot of salt in your mixture because you got a lot of salt in there already.
Yeah, you don't need it.
You don't need it. You know, the two sandwich meats alone will have the salt.
Yeah, I would say don't skip the prosciutto because that
That's-
really did
that's-
add a totally different level.
Yeah.
How about bacon?
Oh,
Bacon?
I know. Sorry.
Question's bacon.
She missed this
Bacon
step.
be fine.
Yeah.
Bacon would be delicious. It would
You
give it
know
a little-
what? Make a sauce, dice up some prosciutto, and then like put the sauce on top, and then you've got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can add it with the tortellini.
And like a little, fresh tomato, little garlic basil, and sliced prosciutto, like ribbons.
I could eat them all day.
I will, that's for sure.
So the recipe that everybody has, how many
I have the rest.
does that make? Like you made double, right? We still have so much filling left over.
Yeah.
How many raviolis do you think like everybody here is gonna have enough to make?
Just right. Your recipe, they tell you in the book,
Like family of 4?
37.
all they say is it serves 4 or 6 to 8. I guess it matters the type of people you have. If they're guys
Yeah.
like us, then we're going to eat more. I know John will eat more.
We had 37 tortellinis out of that, and not counting the one I dropped.
They don't say how many
So you
per
made
serving.
37 tortellinis out of that batch.
Yeah.
37? Yeah, because the average, you know, especially a woman's probably going to eat 10 or 12 maybe. You know, guys a little bit more than that. But they are filling. They really are, especially when you put them in a soup broth. You know, the soup broth fills you too.
Oh, you put it with a sauce and have,
Yeah.
chicken or sausage.
That's
or fish
right.
with it too.
So when you do the soup, do you just do exactly this tortellini and broth, or do you add carrots? Do you add?
Just tortellini. Tortellini soup is just tortellinis in a soup broth. That's it, chicken broth. At Tutto Bene, they used to have tortellinis, peas and cream. And it was a cream sauce with peas. And that was served with the tortellinis. That's delicious. You know, cream sauce,
I'd have to try that.
it's very rich.
That doesn't sound good.
No.
Oh,
but
it's delicious.
But I bet you
think
it tastes
good.
Yeah.
Like it's like
Yeah.
peas, but I feel like I've had that before and it is really good.
Yeah, it's
Unexpected.
delicious.
On the
Simple.
surface, it doesn't sound all that good, but I'm wondering
Yeah.
if it tastes good.
Well, thanks for being with us today. We had a lot of fun.
Any questions?
Any other questions you have?
Yeah, thank you, Tim, so much. What a great show, and we hope to see
Well,
you
thank you.
very soon.
Thank you very much,
so
everybody.
much.
Have a great night.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The audio and the video will be available.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Happy birthday, Christy.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. This was
Absolutely
so
wanna
much
make this
fun.
Cheers.
Did you say happy keg day?
Naughty. But seriously, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you're drinking wine. The keg must be empty.
That's negative. My husband's drinking the beer. I have completed the wine with the rest of this glass.
I told you.
That's why I didn't make my pasta. Oh my God.
We'll call
You
you.
know
to
what? I
wake you
figured
up.
it was my right. I was like, you know what? They're recording this. It's my right to not make it tonight. And
Me too.
Stop the recording.
Oh.